Picture this. You are sitting in a metal chair, in a briefing room that smells like cigarette smoke and fresh paint, on a Pacific island most Americans couldn't find on a map. It is August 1945. A general slides a single photograph across the table toward you, black and white, aerial, the city. He says 4 words. You have the assignment. And here is your spoiler, delivered without ceremony, the way the military delivers everything. You are going to kill between 40,000 and 80,000 human beings today. Not in combat, not in a firefight where adrenaline dissolves the moral arithmetic. You are going to do it from 6 miles above the earth, in a pressurized aluminum tube moving at 200 miles per hour, while eating a packed breakfast. You won't hear a single scream. You won't see a single face. And that clean, frictionless distance between cause and effect is precisely what is going to haunt every remaining year of your life. Welcome to the Bockscar. Welcome to August 9th, 1945. Welcome to the last morning of Nagasaki.
Before we put you in the cockpit, you need to understand exactly what is sitting in the bomb bay beneath your feet. Its name is Fat Man. Not a metaphor. That is the operational designation, Fat Man, a plutonium implosion device, 5 feet in diameter, 10 feet long, weighing 10,000 pounds. Inside that casing is a hollow sphere of plutonium-239, surrounded by precisely shaped explosive lenses, 32 of them arranged in a perfect geometric pattern, each one engineered to detonate within microseconds of the others. The simultaneous shock wave compresses the plutonium core inward past critical density, triggering a fission chain reaction that releases energy previously locked inside the nucleus of matter itself. In 1.1 seconds, Fat Man will convert a fraction of its own mass directly into energy. Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared. That c, the speed of light, is squared. You are not releasing chemical energy, you are releasing nuclear energy. The difference is approximately 1 million times. The fireball will reach 7,000 degrees Fahrenheit at its core. That is hotter than the surface of the sun. The blast wave will travel outward at supersonic speed, faster than sound, which means the people at the epicenter will be vaporized before they hear anything at all. The pressure wave will measure 35 pounds per square inch at the hypocenter. A standard house collapses at 3. And the radiation, the invisible, odorless, tasteless component that nobody in 1945 fully understood, will begin killing people who survived the blast, slowly, months later, in hospital beds that don't exist yet because the hospitals are rubble. You know all of this. You have been briefed. You are still in the chair, and the general is still waiting for your answer.
Level 1. The morning you were chosen. Tinian Island, Northfield Air Base, August 8, 1945, 11 p.m. You didn't volunteer for this. That is the first thing people get wrong about you, about all of you. Nobody on the 509th Composite Group raised their hand for Hiroshima or Nagasaki. You were selected, evaluated, scored on psychological stability, technical proficiency, and, this is the one that stays with you, moral flexibility. They didn't call it that. They called it mission suitability. Same thing. Your name is Charles Sweeney. You are 25 years old. You have a square jaw, a Massachusetts accent, and enough flight hours to land a B-29 Superfortress in your sleep. You have already flown the Hiroshima mission, not as the lead aircraft, but as the instrumentation plane, the one that dropped the scientific measurement packages and watched the Enola Gay from a safe distance. You saw what Hiroshima looked like from above after the bomb detonated. A city became a bruise on the earth. And now, Colonel Tibbets, the man who flew the Enola Gay, the man whose name history will remember, has tapped your shoulder. Sweeney, You're leading tomorrow's mission. Tomorrow's mission. You don't sleep, not because you are afraid of dying. You've been at war long enough that dying is an abstraction. You don't sleep because somewhere in the back of your 25-year-old mind, a thought surfaces that your training does not have a protocol for. What if this is wrong? You push it down, the way you push everything down. You eat your briefing room breakfast, you drink your coffee, you walk across the tarmac in the Pacific dark, and the stars above Tinian are extraordinary. The kind of stars you only see when there is no civilization for 1,000 miles in any direction. The irony of that will hit you later. Much later.
Level 2. Takeoff and the first complication. August 9th, 1945, 3:47 a.m. Wheels up. The Bockscar lifts off the runway and you immediately have a problem. The primary target is Kokura, not Nagasaki. Kokura Arsenal, one of Japan's largest munitions manufacturing complexes. 90,000 workers. Strategic value, high. Civilian exposure, theoretically lower than a city center. Nagasaki is the secondary target, the backup, the city you're only supposed to bomb if Kokura is obscured. Your orders are explicit, visual drop only, no radar bombing. You must see the target before releasing Fat Man. This is, in the darkest imaginable sense, the one mercy built into the mission. Someone, somewhere in the chain of command, decided that a weapon of this magnitude required human eyes on the target before release. But the first complication arrives before you've left the island's airspace. The fuel transfer pump in the auxiliary tank is malfunctioning. 600 gallons of fuel, roughly 15% of your reserve, is inaccessible, trapped in a tank you cannot draw from. You make a decision in approximately 4 seconds. You continue the mission. The math is uncomfortable. You may not have enough fuel to reach the primary target, complete the bomb run, and return to base. You will almost certainly need to divert to Okinawa, maybe ditch in the ocean. You file this information in the part of your brain that handles problems you cannot solve yet and keep climbing. 6 miles above the Pacific, Fat Man is armed beneath you. You can feel the weight of it, not physically. The Bockscar is a big aircraft, but you feel it the way you feel a bad decision before you can articulate why it's bad. A low, persistent vibration in the base of your sternum. That is not the engine. Level 3. Kokura, the city that survived. 9:44 a.m. Kokura Arsenal, 3 passes. You arrive over Kokura and the city is invisible. Industrial smoke from a nearby steelworks, some accounts say it was smoke drifting from Hiroshima 2 days after the first bomb, still burning, has blanketed the target zone. You cannot see the arsenal. You cannot make a visual confirmation. Protocol says, abort, move to secondary target. But you circle, you try again. First pass, smoke. Flak begins rising from the ground below. The Japanese anti-aircraft batteries have found you. You can hear the concussions. Not loud from this altitude, more like a deep, irregular knocking. And the Bockscar shudders faintly each time a burst gets close. Second pass, still smoke. More flak. Your navigator reports that Japanese fighter aircraft may be scrambling from a nearby base. You are burning fuel, precious, irreplaceable, already compromised fuel, on a target you cannot see. Third pass. The city of Kokura is completely hidden beneath a white-gray ceiling of haze and smoke and the random mercy of industrial pollution. Your bombardier looks at you. You look at your fuel gauges. You make the call that saves Kokura and condemns Nagasaki in the same breath. Set course for the secondary target. Kokura will never know how close it came. The city that survived the atomic bomb. Not because of preparation, not because of military defense, but because a factory was burning and the wind was blowing the wrong direction. Or the right direction, depending entirely on where you were standing that morning. Level 4. Nagasaki, the city that didn't know. 11:01 a.m.,
31,000 feet above Nagasaki Bay. Nagasaki is a port city. It curves around a natural harbor like a cupped hand, hills rising steeply on three sides. Those hills, that geography, that topographical accident, will actually save lives in approximately 43 seconds. The ridgelines will contain part of the blast. Nobody knows that yet. The city below you is a Tuesday morning in August. Warm, humid. School has started. Factories are running second shift. The Urakami Cathedral, the largest Catholic church in Asia, the center of a Christian community that survived 3 centuries of persecution and martyrdom, is full of people attending morning confession. You have 43 seconds of fuel anxiety, flak bursts, and cloud cover that is threatening to close the window entirely. Your bombardier, Kermit Bian, is pressed against his Norden bomb site. He has one job. He needs a hole in the clouds. 40 seconds. 30. The clouds shift. A gap. Not perfect, but enough. Bihan's voice comes through the intercom. The voice of a man executing a technical task. Bomb away. Fat Man drops. You immediately execute a 155-degree diving turn to the right. A violent, pre-planned evasive maneuver designed to put maximum distance between the Bockscar and the detonation point in the 43 seconds before impact. You are pressed into your seat by the G-force. Your vision narrows at the edges. You are counting. 43 seconds is a very long time when you know what is happening at the end of it.
Level 5. The detonation.
11:02 a.m. 1,650 feet above Nagasaki. 0 seconds. Fat Man's 32 explosive lenses detonate simultaneously. The plutonium core implodes. The fission chain reaction ignites. At the hypocenter, a point in the air above the Urakami Valley, 500 meters northwest of the intended aim point, deflected by clouds, the temperature reaches 7,000 degrees Fahrenheit in a fraction of a second. Every human being within 500 meters of that point is not burned. They are not killed by the blast. They are converted. The thermal energy is so intense, so instantaneous, that organic matter, skin, muscle, bone, flash vaporizes. Some leave shadows. Permanent shadows burned into stone and concrete by the thermal pulse, the only evidence they existed at all. 1 second. The fireball expands to 200 meters in diameter. It is self-luminous. It generates its own light, brighter than the sun, visible from 250 miles away. 3 seconds. The blast wave reaches 1,000 meters from the hypocenter. Buildings constructed of wood, which is most of Nagasaki, don't collapse. They explode outward, structural integrity gone in an instant, the pressure differential so extreme that walls become projectiles. 8 seconds. The mushroom cloud begins its ascent. The stem is a column of superheated air, debris, and vaporized city. It will reach 60,000 feet, nearly twice your current altitude. From your cockpit, you feel the first shock wave hit the boxcar like a physical punch. The aircraft bucks, your teeth snap together. A second wave follows, the reflection off the ground, and then it is over. The sky is clear, and you bank the aircraft for the observation pass that protocol requires. You look down. Where there was a city, there is now a white-gray dome of smoke and fire expanding outward in perfect, terrible symmetry. You have flown combat missions. You have seen cities burn from incendiary raids. You have seen the results of conventional warfare. You have never seen anything like this. The word that comes to you, the word that your brain, trained for technical precision and mission efficiency, produces in this moment, is not a curse. It is not a prayer. It is a question. The question you will spend the rest of your life trying to answer. What did we just do? Level 6. The flight home. The fuel situation is critical. You will not make it back to Tinian. You divert to Okinawa, transmitting emergency landing signals, coming in with almost nothing in the tanks. The Bockscar touches down with fuel for perhaps one additional pass. Your crew is quiet. Not the quiet of trauma, not yet. The quiet of men who have been running on adrenaline and protocol for 8 hours and are only now, in the deceleration of landing, beginning to let the morning catch up with them. You file your mission report. You eat something. You sleep, eventually, the sleep of pure physical exhaustion that doesn't care about the weight of what you did. But the silence has started. Not in the aircraft, in you. Over the following days, the after-action reports arrive. Casualty estimates: 40,000 dead in the first minutes, 80,000 by the end of the year. Some estimates reach 140,000 when radiation deaths are included. The people who walked out of Nagasaki that afternoon believing they had survived, carrying the invisible cellular damage that would kill them in the months ahead. Then, on August 15th, Japan surrenders. The war is over. And the argument begins. The argument that will never, in your lifetime or anyone else's, be fully resolved. Did the bombs end the war? Did they save lives by preventing an invasion? Or were they the opening statement of a new kind of warfare that made the entire human species permanently, existentially vulnerable? You don't have an answer. You have a mission report. You have a fuel log. You have the memory of a gap in the clouds and a bombardier's flat, professional voice. Bomb away.
Level 7. The decades. The weight that distributes unevenly. Here is what nobody tells you about moral weight. It doesn't distribute evenly across the chain of command. President Truman orders the bombs. He sleeps fine, or claims to. He will say until his death that he never lost a night's sleep over the decision, that the bombs saved 1 million American lives by preventing the invasion of Japan. He says this with the confidence of a man who never had to look at the gap in the clouds. Colonel Tibbets, who flew Hiroshima, who is arguably the more historically visible figure, never apologizes, never expresses regret, dies in 2007 at age 92, specifically requesting no funeral, no tombstone, because he feared it would become a protest site. The weight lands differently on the men who were closer to the lever. Kermit Behan, your bombardier, the man who said, "Bomb away," will tell a journalist decades later that he was proud of what he did, that it was a military mission executed correctly. You, Sweeney, will write a memoir, will say you believe the bomb was necessary, will defend the decision in public, consistently, for the rest of your life. But the people who know you say the question never fully left your eyes, because you were 25 years old, because you looked through the gap in the clouds, because you counted 43 seconds, because you saw what was below you turn into that white-gray dome, and because somewhere in the architecture of the human nervous system there is no protocol for technically correct and morally catastrophic existing in the same action, the same morning, the same hands. Your hands. Japan surrenders on August 15, 1945. The Bockscar is eventually retired, displayed at the National Museum of the United States Air Force in Dayton, Ohio. You can visit it. People take photographs next to it. Children climb on the information placard. The bomb design, Fat Man's implosion mechanism, is replicated, refined, and mass-produced. The Soviet Union tests their first implosion device in 1949. Britain in 1952, France, China, India, Pakistan. 9 countries currently possess nuclear weapons. The total global stockpile at its Cold War peak reached approximately 70,000 warheads. The chain of command that ended with your hand on a lever has never been dismantled. It has only gotten longer, more distributed, more automated, more removed from the human moment of a 25-year-old pilot counting to 43 above a city that didn't know it had a Tuesday left. Somewhere right now, in a bunker you don't know the location of, in a country that may or may not be an ally today, there is a person with a designation and an authorization code and a very clear set of protocols. And somewhere above them,
In a chain of command that stretches upward through ranks and titles and elected offices and international treaties, there is a general sliding a photograph across a table. The photograph is of a city. The 4 words are the same. The cycle never ended. It just found new pilots.